Hello, today we're going to do a Yogalates class. Hopefully it won't be too long before we're able to see each other again in person. I know they're starting to think about reopening the gyms in England at least, so fingers crossed. I know if you're a member of my Shrewsbury group that we do Yogalates in Shrewsbury on Monday and Wednesday mornings. The college are very keen for us to start again quite soon. But the council won't let us into the building yet, so we're just going to wait for the go-ahead from the council, and then we'll be able to get going there. Other classes, perhaps speak to your the people you pay your membership to, and ask them what classes there's going to be available. I know that some places are looking at restricting their timetables a little bit, so not all the classes might be back in all the places. So just double check with who you go to, where you go to, what classes there will be available, and specifically request classes if there's any that you're really going to miss if they take them off the timetable. Okay, so our Yogalates, we're going to start standing. So find a nice comfortable standing position. Some people tell you feet together, some people tell you feet apart, whatever is comfortable for you, and it's usually depending on how wide your hips are. So you're looking for the bony bits at the front of the hips and for the feet to be directly underneath those. Lift and spread the toes and then plant each of those toes down. Think about the first toe, the big toe, and then the little toe, and engaging those toes with the ground, and then the middle of the heel and engaging the heel into the ground, and then imagine that you could lift away from that. You're fully connected and engaged to the ground, but also you've got that energetic lifting away from the ground, and with that lifting you'll engage the muscles of your legs and strengthen those up so that you're not pressing the knees back towards the wall behind you. You're not locking out those knees, you're keeping a spring-like amount of tension, but not tense. Okay, we're going to draw in here at the centre. So when I say that, I don't mean like trying to flatten yourself off. I mean just gently all the way around the centre. Excuse me. Ooh, I've been dusting. It's not COVID, don't panic. Okay, so we're going to draw in from the centre, all around the middle, in towards, and we're going to find that lift up, lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. You might like to just roll your shoulders and then tune into your breath. So as you breathe in, think about this energetic lengthening and lifting the crown of the head, lifting towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, that grounded connection to the floor, the shoulders relax, the shoulder blades slide down the back, tail lengthens towards the floor. Perhaps your breath in is 3 counts long, your breath out is 3 counts long. Okay, so we'll start with our neck a little bit here. Let's think about turning the head towards one side. See if you can keep the chin as parallel with the floor as possible, easing it back through to centre, and take it to the other side. Once again, nothing should hurt. So I know I'm like a broken record with this one. No pain, good. Yes, you've heard me say it a lot. Take it to that point where you think, oh yeah, that's a stretch, but not a painful one. Maybe we'll do it one more each time. Just easing into these necks. Lovely. We might try dropping one ear towards the shoulder. Just find that little bit of length down through the side. It might feel good to move the arm away. Perhaps lift the palm up and then down. Just rotate through. A little bit of movement through the neck, the shoulder. Good. Let's find our way back through to centre and then try the other side. So if one side is different from the other, just notice it, that's okay. So we're starting to feel that little bit of a stretch here, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. Then if it feels good, you might choose to get this movement through the arm as well. Lovely, let's ease our way back through to centre. Maybe roll the shoulders. Good, fabulous. You might want to take the stance just a little bit wider. We'll have a little think about a twist. So just gently, see how much we can keep everything facing forward and just twist from the trunk, chin above breastbone, so you're not turning that neck there, back through to centre and then to the other side. So at the moment the hips are pointing forwards. We're not moving through those yet. Just gently. And then what we'll do is we'll make it a bit bigger and we'll add a bit of a sway. And this time you might want to lift the heel so you don't put any pressure through the knee. Just a little bit of sway. Keeping that belly strong, being aware of any sensations that go on in the mid-back. Good, fabulous. Let's come back to our nice neutral standing position, bringing those feet back underneath the hips. We're going to take the weight onto one foot. Now what you do with your hands, up to you. Some people like to have their hands out. They think that helps with their balance. Some people have their hands on their hips, that helps with their balance. Some people tug their ear, whatever feels right for you. But again, we've got that strength through that standing leg, whichever one it is, we'll do both. Hips are nice and level, so be careful not to roll off onto one side when we come into this. Find that energetic strength through the belly, and all we're going to do is hover one foot off the floor, give that foot a bit of a turn, a few times one way, a few times the other, just getting a little bit of movement into the ankle, and then pointing and flexing, noticing that stretch through the shin and then the calf, and then maybe just drawing the knee and then tap the heel. Drawing the knee, and again it doesn't matter how high, keeping the belly strong. Good, super. Let's see if we can do all that on the other side. Now at any point if your balance goes and you feel yourself getting a little bit wobbly, just pop that foot back down to the floor, that's okay. Okay, here we go. Hips nice and level, leg lovely and strong, belly strong, shoulders relaxed, still spot, and then move. Easing that foot a few times one way, and then a few times the other way. Good, and pointing and flexing. Easing into the shin and the calf. Good, and then heel and knee. So just a few times, easing into the hip a little bit. Lovely. Forgot how many we did on the other side, so that feels about evenish. Okay, as always you can be in charge of your own counting. Okay, so we're going to go through a little warm-up sequence, and today we're going to do our half sun salute. We'll add on a little bit each time. So we'll start with just the arms. So find your nice strong mountain pose. Shoulders back and down, belly strong, and just to begin with, inhale as you lift your arms up, lifting the chest towards the ceiling, and exhale to bring the arms down. So just as easy and as steady as that. Inhale, lift, and exhale, bring it back. Now we have to be careful when we do this, not to collapse into the lower back. So I'll show you what that would look like. People wanting to really get a big back bend in, but it crunches here. So you're looking for that zipped up feeling through the front of the body every time. As I always say, it doesn't matter so much what it looks like, how big it is. What it matters is what it feels like. So if there's any pinching, straining, if you're clenching your teeth, holding your breath, that's not good. Inhale as we lift, exhale down. Should feel that balance of ease and effort. We're going to add in, inhale as you lift your arms up, and as we exhale, soften through the knees as much as you need to, just scrape the fingertips onto the floor. Inhale and exhale, getting a little bit of movement through these legs. super, super. Let's come into our right angle. So this time, inhale, slide the hands up towards the tops of the thighs and draw the chest forward. And what we're looking for is for the back to be as parallel with the floor as we can. So don't worry if you're not quite there. Find the legs nice and strong. Draw forward. So you can have your hands on your hips, you might have your hands here, but we're not pushing them back. So if your hands are quite low down and you feel like you're pushing your knees back, that's going to lock them out. If you feel pressure in the back of your legs, just check. Have you rolled your weight back into the heels? Draw them forwards. You can always soften those knees if you need to. Okay, let's play with that a little bit. So soften through the knees, slide the fingertips down towards the floor. We're going to inhale to right angle pose. And exhale. So we're easing into the backs of the legs here. Okay, let's make our way up to standing, pushing the floor and lift all the way up. And then relax the arms down. So we're going to put all that together into our half sun salute. Big breath in, to the floor. Right angle pose, to the floor. Big breath in, all the way up. And release the arms. We'll do that one more time through. Big breath in. Super, super, super. Lovely. So now we've warmed up a little bit. Let's think about our balance. So today we're going to do tree. And again, tree is a balance. So we're going to think about that connection with the floor whilst thinking about that lift up towards the ceiling. So we're thinking about a lengthening in two directions. And obviously we're doing one thing on one side and one thing on the other side. So it's going to feel a little bit wobbly. Take the weight onto that one foot, hips nice and level, shoulders are relaxed. You can bring the hands together. If you press the palms in together, really push them, that can help you engage through the belly. Now then we're going to take the knee out to the side. So you can keep your toe to the floor, just pop the knee open and rest the heel on the inner leg there. Again, watch out for that wandering hip, we're drawing up, trying to keep these level. Once you've found your still spot, your drishti point, and you've got your concentration and you've got your strength in your belly, you can lift your foot away from the floor, maybe popping it into the calf or somewhere else on the leg. So find another comfortable place, wherever it feels good to you. Leg and foot pressing evenly in together and encouraging that lengthening feeling, grounding down into the standing foot. And again, if you've fallen out of it already, do not worry, that's absolutely fine. Wonderful. We're going to release, bring this foot down, and we'll do the same on the other side. So standing foot nice and strong, standing leg engaged, hips nice and level, zip up through the belly. What are we doing with this lifted foot? You want to feel like you're lengthening out through the crown of the head as if there's a thread lifting you, but at the same time your foot is really engaged into the floor. Okay. When you've held it for about the same amount of time as you did the other side, I'm going to release and come back down. Take a moment in your mountain pose. Just be aware of both feet into the floor, that engaged, strong feeling in both the legs, and that sense of evenness, broadening out across the chest, relaxing the shoulders. Okay, moving on. We'll move on to chair pose. So in our chair pose today, we're going to think about just easing into it and out of it initially, and then holding a steady chair pose for a breath or two. How deep you come, completely up to you, so don't worry about that. We're going to start with easing into it and out of it with our breath. And I personally like to bring my feet a little bit closer together for chair pose. Not everybody does. Find a comfortable place for you. So again, it starts with the feet. They're engaged into the floor. We're lovely and strong through the legs. We've got this engagement into the belly. Whatever you want to do with your hands, you can have them at heart center, or you can inhale to lengthen the arms up, and exhale, just start bending into the knees. Watch what happens. Do roll out onto those outside edges of the feet and have the knees knocking out. We're going to press down to the inside edges of the feet. Are you sticking your bum out and crunching into your lower back? Can you zip up through the belly a little bit more? So let's flow through. Inhale and exhale. Weight slightly more towards the heels, but let's keep those toes down. If it gets too much with the arms lifted, hands to heart. Let's hold. So even weight through both feet, lovely strong legs, zip up through the belly, lift that chest, shoulders relaxed. And then when you're ready, making your way out of it. Okay, fabulous. Have a bit of a wiggle. We're going to make our way down to the floor. And we will start with an attempt at boat pose. Now, I know I have mentioned this already in my videos through lockdown, is that boat is not something I've been doing a lot of. If, like me, you've taken this opportunity to take a little break from boat pose, I do not blame you one bit. But I think it might be time to start practicing it again. So let's find our sit bones. Press those sit bones nice and firm down into the floor and find a still spot ahead of you, because boat pose is also a balance. Heels, to start with, can be in the floor. Things we're going to watch out for. We're going to watch out for rolling onto the lower back and curving and getting a pulling sensation here. We're also going to watch out for doing the opposite and overly opening the front of the body and feeling a crunching there. So let's find a nice neutral spine, even though we've tilted back. You are usually about arm distance away from the legs when you're roughly in the right place, but it's different for everybody. So if you're not, that's fine. That might be your boat pose today. You might try lifting a foot. You might try lifting the other foot. See how that goes. Anytime it gets too much, have a break. Maybe come into your cobbler's pose. And then we'll try again. And we're going to try both feet this time. Okay, find it nice and strong. If you're going to lift both feet, I suggest having the fingertips to the floor to help with your balance initially. Lift one foot first. Once you're happy there, lift the other foot. See how that feels? Oh, I can already feel that. And then you can lift the arms. Anytime it gets too much, take the feet down, have a moment. So let's give it another couple of goes. Sitting up nice and tall. Come down when you want to. Lovely. One more time. Don't know if you can hear that. One of my neighbours seems to be doing, I don't know, cement mixer or something I can hear. Okay, that's enough boat for one day. Whew. Do you know, for something that looks so simple, it's one of the most challenging ones for me. Okay, moving on then, let's think about a belly twist, and this should be really nice after a boat pose. We do these a lot, so you should be really familiar with the belly twists. I'm going to come on down to the floor. Arms nice and wide, and this should be lovely on the chest as well, so snuggle those shoulders underneath you a little bit so you can feel a lovely opening across the chest. And to begin with, we can keep the feet down to the floor. We're going to make it more challenging, but ease the knees over towards the floor on one side, maybe take the head to the other. Ease your way back through centre, and then we'll try the other side. Okay, we can do that again. Lovely. Again, that's just loosened everything out in the belly from those boat poses. But can we make it more strong, more challenging? Lift the feet away from the floor, doing the same thing. If your shoulder lifts off the floor, like this, you've taken the weight of the feet have lifted you off the floor, and you're not relying on the strength of the belly to move you. So only take the feet or the knees over as far as you can keep your shoulders down. You might choose to lengthen the legs, work up to being completely straight if you've got a little bit more room. I'm a little bit close to my wall here. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Okay. When you've had a bit of a play there, we can one leg down, then the other come on down. Have a full body stretch. Marvellous. Super. What have we got next on my list today? Okay. Well, these were in the wrong order, but never mind. We've got the corkscrew tabletop. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. We perhaps should have done this before, but never mind. Hands and knees, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And again, be careful here of hunching into these shoulders. So if you find that you're sagging down into it, what I want you to think about is that lift away from the floor. We did it standing, so fingertips into the floor and then lift away. Trying to find an evenness across the back, and then lengthen one leg away. Hips as level as possible. What we're going to do, find that strength in the belly and then use the strength in the belly to bring this knee to one elbow. And then inhale, take it away, and then we're going to take it towards the other elbow, across the body. And it doesn't matter if it gets there or not, it's towards. That's 3. That's 4. Last set. Marvellous. Knee down. Let's take the bottom to the heels here and soften the forehead down to the floor. Okay. Side number 2. So again, lift energetically away from the floor, and same as before, crown of the head forwards, tail back, belly strong, other leg out. Remember which one you've already done, do the other one, otherwise you'll be wonky. And we're going to go exhale and inhale, other arm. I think that's 4, we'll do one more. come to kneeling, roll through these shoulders, maybe roll the hands a little bit one way and then the other. Okay. Let's go through a quick seated version of cat and cow. And we usually do this with our hands on our knees. We don't tend to put an arm movement with it. So we'll just go through the basics like we normally do. Hands onto the knees, or any seated position. Your hands might be on your thighs, wherever. We're working on the length through the front of the body as you lift the chest and open across the front. And then scooping up from underneath, rounding into the back. Okay, we'll add our arm movements on. So this is just going to have a little play into our shoulders as well. So this time, when we come into our cat pose, we're going to push an imaginary wall away and then open up into our cactus. All right, Hobbs. Lovely. Good. Okay, so we've got our dead bugs making your way onto your back. Using arms for support if you like. And again, we're going to do opposites. So belly strong, neutral spine. One foot lifts first of all, then the other one. Okay. So we're going to take heel and fingertips to ceiling. Opposite arm to opposite leg. Inhale as you find that length. And then exhale as you return to your starting point. And the idea is we want to be as still as possible in our bodies. We don't want to be rolling around. Let's do one more pair. Super. And then we're going to bring these feet down and come into a full body stretch. So remember, you can go back and do these videos as many times as you like. So if you don't like whatever I've posted, you can go back and do an old favourite. If you want to increase the number of repetitions you do, you can just hit pause and carry on for a little bit longer. Just make a mental note of how many you're doing, or perhaps even a written note if, like me, you might need reminding. Or you could do it the other way, where you do all the exercises and then before we do the relaxation, rewind and do all the exercises again. That's okay too. Okay. We're going to find our way into our body scan, so finding a comfortable position. Maybe the feet flop open, maybe you stick your legs up the wall, whatever feels good. But we're just going to take a moment to notice the connection that the body is making with the floor. So notice the weight of your feet, the backs of your legs, the buttocks, the parts of your arms, resting on the floor, the backs of the shoulders, the parts of your back that are resting on the floor, the back of your head. And if you need to, if it doesn't feel comfortable, have a wiggle, have a shuffle. If you hear that snoring, I promise it's not me, it's Oscar. So bring your awareness to your flow of breath, noticing the sensation of air travelling past the tip of the nose, in through the nostrils, down through the back of the throat and into the lungs. The belly rises, the ribs expand, the chest expands. And then that breath leaves again out through the nose, the chest falls, the ribs fall, the belly falls, and the whole body sinks more deeply into the support of the floor. Noticing any sensations as they show up in your feet. Noticing the feet starting to soften and relax. Noticing any tension just seeping away. Feel it releasing and just easing away into the floor. Bring your awareness up now into the lower legs, the shins, the calves, and allow them to start to soften. Letting go of any sensations that are not useful to you in this moment. Relaxing the knees and the thighs, the legs are relaxed and just resting deeply into the floor. Noticing the hands, the arms, and then bringing your awareness to your central part of your body. Take attention to the belly. We often hold a lot of tension there if we're feeling any guilt or anger. So see if you can allow the belly to soften. Taking your awareness to the area around the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, buttocks. That whole area around the belly is soft and relaxed. And then drawing awareness up the body to the area around the ribs, the mid-back, and then higher up into the chest and the upper back. Feeling that expansive feeling as you breathe in and that release as you breathe out. And the chest releases its grip on the shoulders, and the shoulders can rotate and open and release more deeply into the support of the floor. The neck is soft and relaxed, and the head and face. Take a moment or two to relax the face, letting go of any tension in the jaw, in the forehead, across the bridge of the nose. You can choose to stay here for as long as you like, just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. But when it's time to come out, Gently start to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, turn the hands, the feet. Maybe blinking the eyes open perhaps, getting into a full body stretch. You might like to, as you exhale, bring one knee in, followed by the other. Give it a little hug, have a little rock. And then ever so gently, you can turn onto one side and use your arms for support to come up to seated. Finding a lovely tall seated position, the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. When we breathe in, bring these arms all the way up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Thank you very much. See you again soon.